Dear students, in this module, we will be taking an example and we will have to test it using the binomial test. The example stated that a researcher believes that the coin is fair. Now, let me tell you, dear students, whenever we state that the coin is fair, that means the probability of heads and probability of tails is identical. They are actually the same and they are equal to 1/2. So the coin is tossed 20 times, yielding 15 heads. Indicate whether the claim of the researcher is true using alpha 5%. अब स्टूडेंट्स देखिए, हमारा जो assumption है, जो कि हमें टेस्ट करना है about population, that is that the coin is fair. So for that, coin is tossed 20 times, yielding 15 heads. So students, ये जो आपके पास है sampled information, ये आपको proportion दे रहा है about the sample. So हमें ये check करना है कि क्या researcher का claim true है या false है. By true, what do we mean? We would have to test that the probability of heads and tails, they are the same. So student, step number 1 में we would be constructing the pair of hypotheses. And this pair of hypotheses, that falls under two-tailed test, because you see that the alternative hypothesis is of not equal to type. And we would have to test कि क्या आपकी head की और tail की probability is same and they are equal to 1/2 or 0.5. Under step 2, we'll be determining the alpha. So alpha is being given to us as 0.05. So step 3, my students, whenever you talk about the binomial case, let me add to it that whenever in binomial distribution, n is large, by n being large, what do we mean? That n approaches infinity. So when n is large and neither p nor q, where p is the probability of success and q is the probability of failure, if they are closer to 0.5, then your binomial distribution would tend towards a normal distribution. Now, my dear students, normal distribution, please remember, it is a continuous distribution. It is a distribution of a continuous random variable. Whereas the binomial distribution is the distribution of a discrete random variable. So for any case of, binomial problem, you would have to test one assumption. And what is that assumption? That you will have to calculate the mean of the binomial distribution. So students, mean of the binomial distribution is denoted by expected value of x, and it is being calculated as NP. So n is the sample size, p is the probability of success. If you just multiply them, जैसे for example students, इस case में हमारा n था 20 and our p was 0.5. So multiplying both of them, we got a value that is 10. So students, if NP or NQ, they are greater than 5, we should better apply the normal distribution to calculate the required probabilities rather than the binomial distribution. So further, as we have tested that NP is greater than 5, so we are looking for the normal distribution to solve this problem. So students, उसके लिए आपको एक और चीज calculate करनी है, that is variance of x. And variance of x for the binomial distribution is determined using the formula n into p into q. और इसको further हम use करने जा रहे हैं students z calculate करने में. Now what is z? Z follows the normal distribution with zero mean and variance 1. So students, z का formula अगर आप देखिए, it is calculated as number of heads in this particular example plus minus 0.5. Now why we have to add or subtract this 0.5 value? Now this 0.5 is usually the addition or the subtraction of this 0.5 value is known as the continuity correction. Now let me tell you students, क्योंकि हमारा data discrete था, binomial का example था और हम कन्वर्ट करने जा रहे हैं उस डिस्क्रीट रैंडम वेरिएबल को टू कंटिन्यूस रैंडम वेरिएबल. So in order to make it continuous, we'll have to make use of this continuity correction by adding or subtracting the 0.5 into our variable of interest, which is number of heads in this case. So number of heads plus minus 0.5 minus, ये देखिए आपके पास मीन है जिसको हमने कहा expected value of x. So आपने उसको उसके मीन्स में से माइनस किया number of heads को, and this is the standard deviation. So variance of x and pq का अगर आप positive square root लें, so that will be giving you the standard deviation. Now students, we are actually calculating the z. So by plugging in the entire information into the formula of z, we have calculated it as 2.01. Now we'll have to compare this calculated z value with the tabulated z value that is to be obtained from the normal probability table. Now students, under step number 5, we would have to determine the criterion for rejection or acceptance of the hypothesis. So we'll have to reject H naught if z modulus is greater than 1.96. So how we have determined this value students? अब देखिए alpha आपके पास था 0.05. 1 minus alpha will be 0.95. So students, अगर मैं normal distribution को figure out करूं तो मेरे पास ये जो information है दो जो इन bars के दरमियान है, this is known as probability of acceptance, whereas the probability of rejection is 0.05. As it was a two-tailed test, so this will be divided into two regions, 0.025 on the left hand side and 0.025 will be on right hand side. So this particular value is minus z alpha by 2 and this is positive z alpha by 2. Now students, if alpha is 0.05, 1 minus alpha is 0.95. By making use of the normal probability table, the probability at 0.95 that lies between minus 1.96 to positive 1.96. So this value is minus 1.96, whereas this value would be positive 1.96. So in mathematics, when a value, the value of z, if it is embedded between minus 1.96 and positive 1.96, so in order to represent both of the values being negative and positive, students, we make use of this modulus sign. So according to this modulus sign, we are saying that z modulus is greater than 1.96. So z modulus, students, is the calculated value, whereas the 1.96 is the tabulated value. Students, जो हमने calculate की है value, that is 2.01. Whereas the probability at 0.95, if we just look into the z value at 0.95, under the cumulative probability table of normal, that comes out to be 1.96. So इसका मतलब students ये है कि अगर minus 1.96 से पीछे अगर value आपकी आएगी calculated, either or it will be beyond 1.96, then it would fall under rejection region. और अगर आपकी value इन दोनों के दरमियान में lie करेगी, तो आप अपने hypothesis को accept करेंगे. Now if you just look into the value, 2.01, the criterion was that this value has to be greater than 1.96. So students, 2.01, we know that it is greater than 1.96. That means it fall under the rejection region and we will have to reject the null hypothesis, which is our H naught. So students, हमने reject actually क्या किया example में? हमने ये reject किया कि P is not equal to 1 by 2. That means the coin was not fair and the claim of the researcher was not true.